All right, just a few more days to go before 2022 is in the rearview mirror, and all of you should be looking through the window as you go forward into 2023, clear on what you want to accomplish in 2023. And what I'm going to talk to you about today has been a conversation that I've been having with a couple coaching clients the last couple days. And we're going to go through the process of making a call, to going on an appointment, to follow up, to getting the listing appointment and getting the listing. My goal here, my mission here, is to equip more of you with the tools that you need in order to take more listings in 2023. So the purpose of the call is to get the appointment. And when I say that, I want you to be super crystal clear on what I'm talking about. And what I mean by that is, no matter what you're hearing, the answer is, does today at 4 o'clock work, or would tomorrow at 5 be better for you? In other words, if I'm calling Pietro, it's great to see you again. If I'm calling Pietro and it's a circle prospecting call, and hey, Pietro, the purpose of my call today, by the way, one of the most common questions that I get is, John, how can I get your scripts? Well, there's a number of answers to that. And one of the answers is by being on this call and by paying attention when I get into a scripted conversation. This is a scripted conversation. Hey, Pietro, the reason I'm calling today, hey, by the way, my name is John Dietz. I'm with XYZ Real Estate Company. And the reason I'm calling you today is one of your neighbor's homes just sold. Matter of fact, it sold for a record price in your neighborhood, which is awesome. Our challenge now is we still have buyers, or there are still buyers, who are interested in great homes like yours. And I was just curious, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home? Now, Pietro could respond with, I don't know of anybody. And my response to that is simply, thank you for taking a moment to think about that. Now, Pietro, before I let you go, those of you who've been following me for a while know that's one of my favorite scripts. The person you're speaking to likes it because they know the conversation is almost over. This is my Columbo script. If you ever watched the TV show Columbo, he would always do a fake leave. He's leaving the room, he'd turn around and he'd go, oh, one more thing. And that was where he always dropped the bomb. I loved it. So Pietro, before I let you go, I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. And that simply means that I send them interesting information on the real estate market once a month. And I call every 3 or 4 months just to check in. Would it be okay if I added you to that group? Now, the purpose of that conversation is to build your database. Please write it down. Your goal is to build a big database because the size of your database is in direct proportion to the size of your business. In other words, the bigger your database, the bigger your business. And if Pietro can add one person to his database every day between today and a year from today, and he works 250 days, he's added 250 people to his database. Now, if 10% of his database moves every year, that's 25 sales that he will get directly from his database. Now, let's say it's 5%. That's fine. It's 12. And that's just direct business with his database. That doesn't include all of the referrals that he would get from communicating with everybody in his database. Before I let you go, who do you know that's thinking of selling their home? Write it down. Great script, and every conversation with that. Hey, before I let you go, just curious, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home? All right, so back to the conversation. Pietro could respond with, well, I'm thinking of selling my home, but it's not going to be for a year from now. My response is going to be, that's awesome. I'm going to be selling homes a year from now. And I'd love to earn the opportunity to be your realtor. Write it down. I'd love to earn the opportunity to be your realtor. Now, here's what that looks like. I'm going to send you really interesting information on the real estate market once a month, and I'll call every 3 or 4 months just to check in. Now, before I let him go, I'm going to check for motivation. I'm going to go deep. In other words, when you move a year from now, Pietro, where are you moving to? Now, if he says, I'm staying local, I'm going to ask, what are you looking for? In other words, tell me what your next home looks like. Now, he's sharing with me that he's looking for a bigger home. He needs more bedrooms. His family is growing. Whatever he shares. I'm playing chess here, guys. Pay attention. Two things are going to come out of this conversation. Number one, Pietro, if I were to find that home between now and a year from now, would you want to know about it? I'm digging for motivation because what if he says yes? Well, then he's not tied into moving a year from now, which means he's open to the idea of moving sooner if we can find the right house. Here's the other thing. Fast forward to I'm sitting at a listing appointment at Pietro's home 3 months from now, 4 months from now, or a year from now. One of the things that I'm going to share with him that I do that makes me different than other real estate agent when it comes to my value proposition is, Pietro, one of the things that I'll do for you, nobody else is going to do. I make anywhere from 60 to 80 outgoing calls every day looking for a buyer for your home. Now, he might ask me, how are you going to do that? I'm going to take him back to the conversation we had a year ago. I'm going to say, Pietro, do you remember when I asked you, tell me about the home you're looking for? What does it look like? What are you looking for? Now, you hire me. And I'm still having conversations like that. And I'm talking to somebody and they just described your home. Did I find a buyer for your house? Yes, I did. And that's one of the things that I'm going to do for you that nobody else is going to do. You're adding value and pretty good reason to hire you, right? Now, he's a for sale by owner. I notice your home is for sale. It looks like you're selling your home by owner. I'm going to move over to Moseline. By the way, I only talk to people who have their camera on. So that doesn't mean if you don't want me to talk to you, turn your camera off. No. The other way around. Please turn it on. And I'm not always going to ask you to talk back to me, but it's easier if I have a chance to talk to you. So Moseline, I noticed that you're selling your home. Looks like you're selling, by the way, script time, write it down, record it, play it back. I noticed you're selling your home by owner. And is it still available?
Yes.
If I had an offer on your home today, would you, Moseline, you look great. Thank you for being there. If I had an offer on your home today, would you want me to bring you the offer?
Definitely.
Now, Moseline might respond, do you have an offer? And my response to that is, great question. I won't know until I see your house. That's exactly why we should get together. I just need 10 or 15 minutes to pop by and take a look at your home so I could potentially bring you an offer. I'm not going to wait for her to answer that. I'm going right into it and playing chess. I just moved one piece on the chessboard in order to set up the next move. In order for me to bring you an offer, I need to see your home. I need to pop by, take a look at your home, ask some questions, write some notes in order to know if I have the right buyer for your home. Now, would today at 4 o'clock work or would tomorrow at 5 be better for you? I'm asking the first question to set up the next question. The purpose of the call is to get the appointment. Moseline responds with, I'm never going to list my house. So if you're coming to list it, you don't need to come. Oh, Moseline, I don't want to list your house. I want to help you sell your home. Now, would today at 4 o'clock work or would 5 tomorrow be better for you? She responds with, if I ever hire an agent, I've already got one. Cool. 4 o'clock today or 5 o'clock tomorrow. She responds with, I'm only paying 1% if you bring me a buyer. Cool. 4 o'clock today or 5 o'clock tomorrow. If you bring me a buyer, I'm not paying you anything. Your buyer's going to have to pay your fee. Awesome. Today at 4 o'clock or tomorrow at 5. The purpose of the call is to get the appointment. I'm not going to sell anybody on hiring me on this phone call. So why would you try to overcome these objections? Who cares? It's just noise. Ignore the noise. Get in the door. Now, the reason getting in the door is important is because all these phone calls these people are getting, very few of them are getting in the door. So your competition went from hundreds of real estate agents to maybe 3 or 4. And you're going to be different. If the purpose of the call is to get the appointment, the purpose of the appointment is to build a foundation to follow up from. Please write that down because so many of you still think the purpose of the appointment is to convert this to a listing conversation. That's what other agents are doing. Don't do that. Be different. Look at what other agents are doing and do the opposite. Be different, stand out. Now, if I've told you before, the 3 questions that every seller is asking when you come to their home is, do you care about me? Can I trust you? Do you know what you're doing? And if I show up at Moseline's door and I told her, I'm just coming to take a look at your home so I could potentially bring you an offer, and then I start having listing conversation with her, can she trust me? No, I'm a liar. I just use that as a reason to get in the door so I can list her house. Do I care about her? No, I don't. I only care about myself. I'm here to get a listing. So the purpose of the appointment is to build a foundation to follow up from. My job is to convey that I care about you, Mary Lou, that you can trust me, that I know what I'm doing. And I'm going to do that by being on time, by dressing professional, by making a great first impression. When Pietro opens the door, hey, Pietro, John Dietz, XYZ Real Estate Company. We had an appointment at 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. May I come in? Big smile. All right. I'm excited to be here. Much better than, hey, Pietro, John Dietz, XYZ Real Estate Company. We had an appointment today at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, may I come in? No, I don't want that person in my house. Be excited, smile. You are much more likable when you smile than when you don't. All right. The moment I walk in the front door, wow, I am super excited to be here. You have a beautiful home. Now, before I take another step, would you like me to take my shoes off? Every word of this is a script. I'm not winging any of this. It's just a script that I've internalized over 20 years that I've mastered. And the only reason I'm saying that is because if I can, you can. There is nothing that I'm doing, nothing that I have done that you can't do. You can duplicate this. I'm super excited to be in your home. Wow, you have a beautiful home. And before I take another step, would you like me to take my shoes off? Now, why is that important? Well, you're being nice. You're being courteous. You're not walking in the door, walking right past them and just start looking at their home. That's what other agents do. You want to be different. In listing hundreds of homes a year for more than 13 years, I would ask people, why did you hire me? And one of the things that I would get constantly was because you were nice, you were professional, you were different. Okay, cool. If that's true, then do that. Now, Justin, good to see you. Justin, what I'd love for us to do next is I'd love for you to take me on a tour of your home. Now, pretend I'm a buyer and show me your home just like you would if I were a buyer. Now, there's a couple reasons that I'm saying that. Good to see you, Justin.
Good to see you too. Yeah, my home is in the midst of construction, so there's some parts that are going to be, it's pretty, there's lots of tools around.
Well, it's fine. I got you. You look great. Not worried about your background, not worried about the screen jumping around. Whatever you need to do, stand on your head. I'm good with that.
Okay. No worries.
Now, if Justin is a for sale by owner and he's new on the market, I want him to experience what it's like to show his home because he thinks it's easy. And it's actually going to be a lot harder than he thinks he is. So I'm asking him, show me your property like you would if I were a buyer. Now, as you're doing that, I'm going to take notes. I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to show him my notebook and my pen. The only things that I brought with me, by the way, besides a business card. Okay, there. My notebook and my pen, I'm taking lots of notes and I'm going to ask lots of questions because this is the information I'm going to use to help you sell your home. Please internalize that script. So important. Can you trust me? Do I care about you? I'm here for one reason. I'm here to learn as much as I can about your home so I can help you sell it. I'm here for you. I'm not here for me. I never want to list my home. Cool. I don't want to list your home either. I want to help you sell it. Now, a little bit of a bunny trail. I will actually tell sellers who are selling their home by owner, you know, I'd rather bring you a buyer than have you hire me anyways. They're going to look at you kind of weird. And I want you to follow it up with, can I explain? They're going to say yes. You see, if I brought you a buyer, I know you would pay me X percent because you told me on the phone. And if you were to hire me and I listed your home, I'm going to spend money on marketing. I'm going to spend money on advertising. I have holding cost. It's going to cost me money. I actually make more money if I bring you a buyer. So of course I would rather bring you a buyer. Say it. It's true. They haven't thought of it. So tell them that. Now, as I'm touring the home with Justin, I have 3 jobs. Convey that I care about Justin, convey that he can trust me, convey that I know what I'm doing. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to take lots of notes. That shows that I care. If I'm not taking notes, then why am I there? I'm there to get a listing. They know that. So I'm taking lots of notes. I'm taking notes out loud. That means I'm talking as I'm taking notes. Beautiful, great room, vaulted ceilings, hardwood floors. Wow, I love your home. Wow, this kitchen is amazing. I can tell that you've recently updated it. Did you do this, or was it like this when you bought the house? Just curiosity question, right? Granite countertops, maple cabinets, travertine floors, stainless steel appliances. I'm writing all of this down as I'm speaking. I also want you to notice something. I like their home. Super important. Like their home. Now, we're going to do this throughout the entire tour. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go in every single room. If I try to shortcut this process by not going outside because it's super hot, and it's not super hot anywhere right now. So let's just say it's super cold and I don't go outside. I'm shortcutting the process. Why am I there? To get a listing. And they know that. Take the time to see every room, take the time to go outside, take the time to ask great questions that you need to ask in order to sell their home. Now, you're going to end up at the front door. This conversation is critically important. It's called the exit conversation. And let's see if I can change our screen and find somebody else who has their camera on. Well, no, lots of people with no camera. So let's go back to Moseline. So Moseline, thank you so much for showing me your home. You have an absolutely beautiful home, and I'm confident it's going to sell. And before I go, I'd like to ask 2 questions. Would that be okay? I'm actually looking for somebody to role play with me. So it doesn't have to be Moseline, but Moseline, if you could talk to me, that would be awesome. Otherwise,
Yeah, I just turned on my mic. I'm sorry.
You're good. So Moseline, before I leave, if I could, I'd love to ask you 2 questions. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, in my experience, Moseline, whenever I speak with somebody who's selling their home by owner like you, they have a game plan for how long they're going to sell by owner before they think about hiring a professional like me. Just out of curiosity, what's your game plan?
I would say 3 to 6 months.
Okay. Now, whatever answer they give you tells you a lot about their motivation, but I don't want you to hear, because 6 months is a long time. I don't want you to hear there's no opportunity here. Because remember, people will never change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. And maybe Moseline just doesn't have the information she needs yet in order to make a new decision. Cool, 6 months, Moseline. That's awesome. I'm positive it'll sell by then. Now, one more quick question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So again, in my experience, most homeowners who are selling by owner are doing so in order to save on the fee. Is that the reason you're selling by owner?
Definitely.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. And I know when I called you to schedule the appointment, you shared with me that if I were to bring you a buyer, you would pay me 3% to represent the buyer in that transaction. Is that true? Okay, so you're already paying 3%. So the difference between selling the home on your own or working with a professional like me is only 3%, not 6%.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so let's pause for a moment, guys. This is what Floyd Wickman would call dropping a bomb and walking away. All right. Another way of looking at that is I'm planting seeds that will create different information for Moseline in the future so she can make a new decision. Because prior to this conversation, she's probably calculated the cost of selling her home based on 5%, 6%, 7%, whatever it is. And if she's selling a $500,000 home, that means she's calculated that it's going to be $30,000 to sell her home. And what I've done is I've just helped her have a paradigm shift. So she's looking at things differently. It's no longer $30,000 to hire a professional. Now it's only $15,000. And am I going to use that to convert this to a listing appointment right now? No, I'm not. I'm packing that away and I'm going to use it in a future conversation. Now, if I see opportunity and opportunity shows up as frustration, please write that down. Opportunity shows up as frustration. Here's what frustration would look like in this conversation. If I were to ask Moseline, what's your game plan? How long are you going to sell your home by owner before you hire a professional like me? And I heard, well, I kind of thought it would have already sold. I'm really surprised it hasn't. You know, I've had it on the market now for 30 days, and other than you and a bunch of other real estate agents, nobody's looking at my house, and everybody just wants to list my house. And it's quite honestly, I'm pretty much over this. Frustration. Okay, frustration just showed up. And the moment frustration shows up, you know, if I'm being too aggressive, please forgive me. However, if you were to hire a professional like me, you would want to hire an aggressive agent, wouldn't you? Now,
Yeah.
Who's going to say no? No, I want to hire somebody who's lazy, who's not going to do anything. Of course, the answer is yes. So if I'm being too aggressive, please forgive me. However, it sounds like you might be thinking it's time to hire a professional. And if I could show you, notice that I didn't stop for her to say yes. I'm playing chess. I'm moving one of the pieces on my board in order to set up the next move. And if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time. Let's just say I sell it for at least 3% more than you could. You're making more money, aren't you?
Yes.
And if I sold it in less time, in other words, if I were to sell your home in 30 days and it took you 6 months to sell your home, what's the holding cost of the additional 5 months? What's your mortgage? What's your taxes? What's your insurance? What are your HOA fees? If that's $3,000 a month, that's an additional $15,000 not to sell your home. And isn't that the $15,000 that you're trying to save? Being quiet for a reason. I'm going to wait till I hear yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there, right. Notice all the yeses. It's intentional. Now here's the final yes. If I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's natural. A close is nothing more than the natural conclusion to an effective presentation. Write it down. A close is nothing more than the natural conclusion to an effective presentation. There's no magic in this. When you've given a dynamite effective presentation, the close should happen naturally. Now, let's say it doesn't close to a listing appointment, which, by the way, is majority of the time. I want you to hear that. I don't want you thinking that I went on all these appointments and most of the time they turned into a listing appointment on the first appointment. That's not true. It hardly ever happened. On average, it happened in 6 to 8 weeks of follow-up. So I'm closing with, thank you for showing me your home. Again, you have an absolutely beautiful home. I'm sure it'll sell. And before I go, I just want to share with you that I'm really good at follow-up. Now, what that means is I'm going to stay in touch. I'm super persistent, but I'm not pushy. So I will call you occasionally just to check in. Now, I'm going to call week 1. I'm going to call week 2, week 3, and week 4, calling once a week for the first 4 weeks. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you what to say here in just a second. I'm going to give you the timeline first. Now, after 4 weeks, I'm going to call once every 2 weeks for the next 2 months. Now, we're 12 weeks or 3 months into follow-up. Most of the time, the majority of the listing appointments you're going to get are going to come within that time period. However, for the few that don't, after 3 months, I'm going to back off to once a month. I'm going to start with what to say on that once a month call. By now, they know who you are. You don't need to tell them. And they know why you're calling. You don't need to tell them. So the script here, Justin, is simply, hey, Justin, John Dietz, just following up as promised, checking in. How are things going?
Going great. How about you?
Okay, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, man. And I also want to just check in and see with you, see if there's anything I can do for you today.
I've been sitting on the house for a while. I'm still just kind of contemplating what to do next.
Is a script. Write it down. It sounds like you might be thinking that it's time to hire a professional like me. Just out of curiosity, if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money and less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that?
I guess I'm ready to maybe potentially take a look at that.
Okay, so we've got an appointment. Great job, Justin. You did awesome. Now, you may hear, I'm doing great. No, there's not anything you can do for me. And I told you I'm never listing my home. And your response to that is, that's awesome. Call you in a month. If there's anything you need, I'm a phone call away. Now, you might call once a month for the next 6 months, and you might get voicemail every time. Keep calling. Always leave a voicemail. It's a postcard and you're farming. You're accomplishing the same thing you would if you're sending a postcard to somebody's home and you're farming. You're simply reminding them, I'm John Dietz. I'm a real estate agent with blank real estate company. I am a local market expert. I am the economist of choice. And if there's anything you need, I'm a phone call away. Just keep making that message. The record for me was 3 years and 89 calls over 3 years before somebody hired me. The only thing that's going to cause me to stop is if they list their home with somebody else or they sell it. That's it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep calling. Even if they tell me, I'm never going to hire you, you don't need to call anymore, my response is, cool, talk to you in a month. All right, let's go back to the first call. The first call is Mary Lou, John Dietz, XYZ Real Estate Company, following up as promised.
Hi,
First of
John.
all, hey, girl. First of all, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to show me your beautiful home.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And I wanted to check in and see if you have any questions for me since we met a week ago.
No, I don't have any questions for you, John.
Okay, perfect. Mary Lou, I'll give you a call again next week. If there's anything you need, I'm a phone call away.
Thank you.
Okay, week 2. I'm calling PHO. It's the same call. Hey, PHO, John Dietz, following up as promised. Just checking in. Is your home still available?
Still available.
Okay. Have you had any offers?
Not yet.
You have a beautiful home. That and pause is there for a reason. Okay. I want them to ask me, do you think I should have had an offer by now? And, Pedro, you have an absolutely beautiful home. I'm positive it'll sell. Maybe it's just going to take a little longer. Is there anything I could do for you today, or do you have any questions that I can answer for you today? Say no.
No.
No. Thank you, Pedro. You did an amazing job. Now, I call Kina the next week. It's week 3. Hey, Kina, John Dietz, XYZ Real Estate Company, following up as promised. How are things going? Is your home still available? How many showings are you getting? What kind of feedback are you hearing? Now, they're different questions, right? Hey, Kina, good to see you. They're different questions. How many showings are you getting? What kind of feedback are you hearing?
We've gotten a couple of showings. Feedback is that we are a little bit, maybe overpriced, but I feel good about my price.
Yeah, okay. And I know when I visited with you, I think maybe it's been about a month, you shared with me that you were selling your home to move to Atlanta to be with family. Is that still the plan?
Yes, John, that's still the plan.
Okay. You know, Keena, let me ask you, what's a great buyer look like to you?
You know, somebody who's ready to buy, John.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You know, can I share with you what a great buyer looks like to me?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Guys, you've heard that script. Every single one of you have heard that script. I'm going to repeat it because repetition is the mother of learning. And, you know, Keena, a great buyer to me is someone who sold their home yesterday and they need to buy a home. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. Okay. Or a great buyer is somebody who's in town for the weekend to buy a home. Would you agree with that?
Yes, John, I would agree.
If you're that buyer, are you driving around looking up for sell by owners, or are you working with a professional like me?
No, I'm not driving around. I'm working with someone.
Sure. And if you're the realtor who's working with that buyer, are you driving around showing them homes that are for sale by owner, or are you showing them homes that are listed by a professional like me?
Listed with a professional, John.
Okay, so if you're not attracting one of those buyers that we both agree is a great buyer, who are you attracting?
This is your business. You need
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe everybody else. Maybe the reason your home is still available is because you're attracting the wrong buyers.
Okay.
If I could show you how I can help you attract the right buyers and get your home sold for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, great job, Keena. Thank you. And Moseline, have you ever bought something from a garage sale? Everybody's going to say yes. Or do you know of anybody who's bought something from a garage sale? Or have you had a garage sale? Now, if the answer is going to be yes to one of those questions, and what type of buyers do garage sales attract? People who are looking for a deal?
Yes,
Bargain shoppers?
yes. Deal seekers.
Yeah, you know, and let's say this watch, we bought it at XYZ store, we paid $500 for it. It's still basically brand new. Maybe I've owned it a couple months and I'm going to sell it at the garage sale. Am I getting $500 for it?
No.
No. And the reason is when we bought it, we were shopping retail. The watch was being sold by a professional. The store attracted people who are looking for retail, who expect to pay retail. And the garage sale attracted people who are looking for a deal. And the watch is being sold by who?
By the owner.
Okay. This is another pause moment to give them an opportunity to have a major aha. And is it possible that this time might be like that time? In other words, is it possible selling your home by owner, you're attracting bargain shoppers who are looking for a deal versus attracting people who need to buy a home, who are going to buy a home, and who expect to pay fair market value? Is it possible that I would give you an opportunity to attract better buyers?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's possible, then would it be worth 30 minutes of your time to meet with me in order to see what I would do in order to attract those buyers and get your home sold for the most amount of money in the least amount of time?
It definitely is.
All right, guys, that's it. I hope you got value. I know I went over time, but I wasn't going to leave anything out just to finish on time. I took you from the initial phone call to getting the appointment to going on an appointment to follow up to converting to a listing appointment. You could take everything that you heard on today's call, you can reproduce it, you can duplicate it, follow this model, and I promise you, if you go on one appointment a week, by the way, that's absolutely doable. My standard was at least one a day. Okay, so 250 in a year. Fair enough. If you went on one appointment a week over 52 weeks and you followed up and you followed this plan, you're going to list at least 10 homes. Conversion ratio is at least 10%. You should get 20%. So one appointment a week should turn into 20 listings. Follow this model, you're going to take 20 seller listings. I promise you, promise you, promise you. All right, raise your hands, talk to me, or just take yourself off mute, talk to me. What'd you hear? What'd you learn? What are you going to do different?
Hey, John, it's Alan.
Alan, good to see you.
Yeah, I'm always hiding, but I'm in my kitchen. You know, I have other people in the house too. So anyway, you always say that sellers went to script school also. You know,
True.
they only have 2 or 3 good scripts.
True.
But sometimes when you just make random phone calls, they don't have scripts and they just say yes. And the only way to meet these people is to pick up the phone. Sometimes it's easy. You don't have to have a script. They say, yes, come on over, sell my house.
Yeah. Yeah. Alan, I agree.
I mean, it's good to learn scripts, but the more phone calls you make, you just meet these people. And they're just yes, 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 come on over.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
But what Alan is referring to is lead generation, lead conversion. If somebody's not hitting their goals, and I'm having a coaching conversation with them, Alan, and I've been working with you for a while now, so you know me really well. And you know that if you're not hitting your goals, the first thing we're going to talk about is lead generation. I'm going to ask you, what are you doing? What are you doing in order to find sellers? And if you're making the calls, if you're talking to a lot of people and you're still not getting appointments, then we're going to have a lead conversion conversation. And that's where mastering the scripts of real estate comes in. But it's first lead generation. First of all, you got to be making the calls. You got to be talking to people. And Alan's 100% right. Talk to enough people and somebody's going to say yes. You could put a sign on your dog that says, if you're thinking of selling your home, put your name and address on a piece of paper and drop it in this pocket on my dog. And the dog will come home with listing leads. That was a joke.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so many people are scared to pick up the phone because they don't have their, you know, their scripts memorized. But sometimes it's just easy.
Good point.
You know.
So my
Just do
favorite
it.
Greg Wickman story is a story of a young man who moved to America, came to the country speaking very little English. He's a brand new real estate agent. He's attending Sweat Hogs, which was a school for real estate agents long time ago. And this agent calls a for sale by owner with, "Hello, you Fisbo? I'll be right over." He got the listing with, "Hello, you Fisbo? I'll be right over." Now, don't use that script. However, it worked. Alan's 100% right. Pick up the phone. Be willing to do something poor until you can do something great. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great.
Exactly.
All right. Guys, I hope you got great value today. We are definitely over time now. I've got 9:10. I will be back tomorrow morning at 8:30. Just as an update, if you haven't subscribed to Rainmaker Plus yet, just drop your email in the chat and I'll send you more information on that. Just for clarity, this call's not going away. This is going to be an additional coaching community that you could be a part of. Drop your email in the chat. I'll send you more information. There is no vacation schedule this week. I'm here every day through Friday, and then I'm back again on Monday. And as always, I appreciate you guys. I get more out of these calls than you do, I promise. And thank you for the opportunity to be a part of your journey. You know, I'm going to close with something from Simon Sinek's book, The Infinite Game, before I go today. And mission just cause why businesses are in business, right? And you go to enough companies, you're going to see mission statements. You're going to hear companies talk about why they exist. And the more I focus on this, the more clear I become that growth without progress, without purpose, is an empty goal. My goal will always be purpose. I don't care how big this gets. I don't care how big Rainmaker Training and Coaching gets. My one and only focus is helping each and every one of you realize your goals in order to live the life that you want to live. The reason you got in real estate to begin with was to be productive and profitable. And I won't stop until every single one of you are. And by the way, I know that is an idealistic goal. I know that is a goal that is ultimately unachievable. That's the point. If I had a goal that was achievable, what would I do when I got there? Nothing. All right, everybody, make it a great day.
Thank you,
Thanks.
John.
Thank you, John.
Got
Thank
it.
you, John. We love you.
Hi,
Yes.
Vivian.
Thanks so much.
I love this. Yeah, videos are on YouTube. Sorry, I didn't ask that question. Somebody asked where are the videos. They're on YouTube. And in the future, most, if not all of my videos are going to live on Rainmaker Plus. It's going to be a private page. The YouTube page is not going away. That's another myth that's living out there. It'll still be there. I've got over 600 videos. Why would I shut that down? So go to YouTube and just search for John Dietz. All right, everybody, make it a great day. Love you guys.